one thing we know as very wise and humble 20-year-olds.
What's that, Riley?
I'm glad you asked. It's that everyone has an opinion, believe it or not.
Whoa.
You don't have to be an academic, an acclaimed expert, or even a film critic. Yucky. To have a stance on a topic. So whether it's about politics, religious ideologies, or what you just think about a film, there's always something to be shared.
I'm Nick, and that was Riley. Welcome to our podcast, Flash Film Reviews, where we just provide you with our unfiltered takes on a film that we've just seen for the first time. Today's episode is a review of Antz, which is definitely a movie. It's a 1998 film directed by Eric Darnell and Tim Johnson, produced by Dreamworks, and we just finished watching it. There's a reason that we picked this movie. It's because I couldn't remember anything that happens in it. Technically, we had seen it back when we were like...
Pretty young.
Very, very young.
At my grandparents' place. It was on DVD.
Yeah, and I have it on DVD at my house as well. But no one that we've talked to can remember it. And
like,
we can't remember it all. No,
No.
It's nothing. Can remember nothing about it.
Exactly.
And now we've watched it.
And it's, we kind of see why.
It's definitely one of the movies of all time, I think.
Yes, it is one. One about ants.
In the movie, there are ants in it, and they do
dance.
ant things.
They dance.
They dance.
And they turn 90 degrees.
Yeah, there's a scene where they have their designated dance time.
At 6:15,
At 6:15. And they all just go out in a grid. And they do this, like, dance the animators probably took, like, 2 seconds to animate and just rig to all of the character models.
Just loop it every,
It's like
second.
a shitty version of the Macarena.
Exactly. It was so funny. Do you even remember the general plot of the movie? How would you describe it?
How would I describe it? Okay, well, there's an ant. And his name is Z. And he's just the only character name I remember. And we've just seen it.
And then there's Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
I don't know his name.
He's an ant. He has a name, but we don't know.
We don't know the name, but he's massive. He's got these, he's like, he looks like Sylvester Stallone.
He looks like a Dorito.
He's a Dorito with massive pecs and like the biggest back you've ever seen. So
the plot, he's like upset with like his life or something. He's like a worker and workers aren't important or something. And he wants to... It's unnecessarily complicated. There's a princess and she comes to the dance scene that we were talking about, and he like falls in love with her or whatever, and he wants to get closer to her, so he switches places with Sylvester Stallone, who's a soldier ant, and then he gets sent off to war, and then
he goes to war. He hides like a coward and everyone dies except for him, and there's this really awkward scene. It's supposed to be like emotional we can't remember the character's name. He was like the war hero, in the scene. He was like killing everyone. He saved Z's life. And then when he dies, he's just a head.
It's just a head.
Just a head.
It's just like, hey, come over here, kid. I need help. And then he goes over to him. And it's just a head sitting on a rock. And he's just like, what's it looking like, kid? Am I hurt bad?
And yeah, he's just a head, and he kind of doesn't even notice. It's just so silly that he doesn't. Yeah, they try to be emotional, and you cannot feel a single thing.
Basically, for the rest of the movie, there's a plot where like the bad guy wants to drown half the colony or something, and then Z, the ant, he escapes the anthill with the princess, and they go on for like a subplot for like half an hour or so where they just kind of walk around doing nothing.
Yeah.
Some random shenanigans happen occasionally. They get stuck in a drop of water, and they hang out with some hipster flies.
Hipster flies who talk about life in the universe. Just that I think they're trying to represent them as like a surfer dudes or something. Hippies.
So anyway, the plot it's not super good.
No, it's not. It's pretty forgettable.
Yeah, basically, it's just so forgettable. Like at the end of it, they kind of come back. And they have like a revolution or something, and good guys win. Woo!
So here, was there anything like we actually liked about the film?
Stallone.
Stallone, yeah, he was a pretty funny character. It was pretty good.
There was like some, it's like unintentional comedy. Like, all the death scenes are just
They're
hilarious.
so funny. The one with the wasps, I think we were talking about that.
Yeah, the wasps. They're like these snobby British wasps. And they like talk to the princess and Z for like 2 seconds. And then the wife of the out of the two wasps, she just gets smacked. And she dies and the other one's just like, oh no!
Oh no, my
I
wife!
can't believe you died.
My wife is dead.
And then
He drinks.
They just
That's
they
it.
just go away.
They go away. He comes back, that wasp, though, because he drinks. He's in a bottle of scotch, and he gets drunk because he's sad about his wife.
It comes back when the plot needs him.
Yeah.
Some plot.
Whatever the plot was.
Whatever the plot is.
What we liked about the movie, that it was at some points, it's kind of like, it was slightly in the territory of so bad it's good, but it wasn't quite there.
I'd say that. I mean, the animation, it's so aged. All the characters, they look like they're made of wood.
Yeah. And they're so stale, their expressions.
And some of them are terrifying. They've got like alien eyes. They're like separated like 1 billion light years apart. And then they just stare at the screen. And they have no expression.
It's like nightmare fuel.
Ugh.
I could see that in one of my nightmares. Imagine like a dream where you're part of that universe and everyone you know is just an ant.
That's
with that
terrifying.
face. That
I don't want to imagine that.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
A face that looks vaguely like the actor who's playing them.
Like Stallone.
Stallone has like this gigantic jaw that's like 10 times larger than the rest of his head.
Exactly. It's massive. He's got the longest face you ever see.
I think Jennifer Lopez is in the movie for some
Jennifer
reason.
Lopez, I don't know why.
She doesn't even play like a main character. She plays Stallone's love interest, which is like a subplot that's given about 2 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's great. It's amazing. That's sarcasm, by the way. It's not. But yeah, like there was a time where there was just like all those bug movies were coming out.
What is the deal with bug movies?
What is the deal? What is the what? I can't.
Jerry Seinfeld should have been in the movie.
It would have made it 10 times better.
What's the deal with all these ants?
What was it? When did Bugs Life come out? I think it was like in 2000, 1999 or something.
I think Bugs Life actually came out after Antz.
After Antz.
And people only remember this, only remember A Bug's Life.
I can see why.
It's for good reason, honestly.
Yeah.
If anyone can actually remember the plot of Antz after watching it a long time ago, I mean, we're already forgetting it.
It's fading away really quickly.
And I remember the plot of A Bug's Life, and it's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah, it's true.
Haven't watched that for a while.
I went to Disneyland and there was the Bugs Life exhibit. It was actually pretty cool.
Bug's Life exhibit?
Yeah, like the area they did one where you sit in like a cinema and then like the people from A Bug's Life like come at you like animatronic.
What?
Kind of. It's weird. It's
Giant
like,
bugs just attack you?
Yeah, kind of like you're sitting in the cinema theater. It's like a 4D theater, and it kind of comes out like there's just things in the walls and shit. But anyway, if they did that with ants, that's like
that would honestly be a horror ride. That would be terrifying. Just the wooden mannequins coming at you doing the freaking Macarena dance.
Slowly walking over.
Slowly doing the Macarena dance.
If you don't join them, you just die.
They'll join your designated dance time at 6:15.
6:15, everyone. You gotta dance.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
I like there's a point in the movie where the bad guy is literally like, the individual doesn't matter. The collective is all that's required.
He literally says that. Something like, see what happens when you're individual? It's dangerous.
It's like the most thinly veiled, what's it called? Allegory for communism that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it is. It does not try to be vague or even slightly try to allude to anything. It just says it.
It's a movie.
It is a movie.
It's a movie that exists.
And you can watch it if you want.
If you feel like it.
It's, worth watching if you want to forget a part of your life. If you go through a breakup, something happens, you watch this movie.
You watch the movie and you just forget that entire day.
You forget the day. That's just what happens.
The only other situation I'd ever imagine you watching that movie is if you're going on like a marathon for bug-related movies.
Yeah, sure. And then what was the other one you talked about? I haven't seen it, but Ant Bully, right?
The Ant Bully. Yeah. It's got like Nicolas Cage. It's like a kid. He gets turned into an ant.
Okay.
That's basically the plot of the movie.
Plot?
He learns not to bully ants at the end of it and is like, man, I love ants now.
I think, well, I think that has more to it than this movie.
Probably. Yeah. I remember the plot of that movie.
That's
something.
That's already better.
At least it has a plot.
And it has Nicolas Cage in it.
Nicolas Cage.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the movie just definitely deserves to be forgotten. It moves so badly. Scenes just it just goes from scene to scene.
Goes from scene to scene. You just don't. There's no
sense of direction.
Exactly. You just feel like you've seen all these different scenes, and it's also. Oh, yeah, I think I lost some.
I think I lost brain cells.
I've lost brain cells, as you can hear. Yeah.
Just lost. It's just so forgettable. It's so forgettable.
And I think that's our final stance on this film.
It's just not that good.
It's really not.